Patches and I had been together since the 8th grade. I had picked him off the street when he was just a lonely little kitten. After I moved out, I knew I had to take him with me. Now, it's just Patches and me, living alone in my house. One night, I was working late on my novel in the dining room. Patches was always a wanderer, yet he always knew to come back before the sun set. However, the darkness had settled hours ago, and the moon was high in the sky. At this point, Patches should have gotten home a long time ago. Patches knew the area well, but he had gotten lost before. I got some wet cat food and walked outside, calling out his name. His name only echoed back to me in the empty streets. Usually the scent of his favorite food would attract him, but I didn't hear the bell ringing on his collar at all. As I walked through the neighborhood alone, a shiver ran down my spine. It felt like someone was watching me. All the houses surrounding me just felt so vacant. When all the blinds and doors were shut, it made me wonder if anyone truly lived here except for Patches and me. After half an hour, I decided to go home. He was probably hanging out with the rest of the neighborhood cats. At the latest, he'll be back tomorrow morning. When I got home, I felt a strange breeze throughout the house. My eyes trailed to the back door, and I realized it was moving. Something had recently come in. I called out Patch's name, with the cat food still in my hands, yet it was completely silent. Weird. He always came straight to me when I got home. He must be tired from going around the neighborhood today. I walked around and checked a few of the rooms he usually liked to hide in, yet I still found nothing. However, when I saw his food bowl was empty, I knew he must have made it back. His bowl was full before I left, so he probably ate dinner then tucked himself into bed somewhere. It was hard to wake him up when he fell asleep. Then, I began to smell something rancid. I turned over to the living room, and knew immediately the stench was coming from there. I cautiously walked over to the couch, almost scared of what I would find. My eyes peeked over the couch. Then I screamed, once I realized what it was. Patches had brought back a dead rat, and left it on my favorite cushion for me. The strange thing was that its head was completely gone. He had somehow managed to decapitate it completely. I gagged as I grabbed it using a plastic bag. Just holding it made me feel like I was gonna throw up. Then, I opened the back door and chucked it into my garbage. After that, I sat back down at the kitchen table, trying to forget about what just happened. I went back to working on my novel, looking for some sort of distraction. My eyebrows furrowed when I looked at the document on my screen. There was a random string of jumbled letters following my latest sentence. Did Patches accidentally step on my keyboard? My pointer finger pressed on the backspace button, erasing the random letters from my document. I began to write some more, before I felt my eyes begin to get heavy. It was late, and I couldn't think of what else to write about, so I decided to go to bed. I went upstairs and into my bathroom. As I got ready for bed, I could hear Patches walking around the hallway. His footsteps sounded heavier than usual. I went to my room and scrolled on my phone for a little bit. Then, I got ready to turn off the lights. But I began to hear scratching at my bedroom door. Scratching was Patches' way of knocking, so I opened the door for him. However, he wasn't outside my bedroom waiting for me. The hallway was completely deserted. I left my door open a crack, so Patches would be able to come in whenever he felt like it. Then, I turned off the lights and laid down. As my eyes were closed, I could feel a weight at the edge of my bed. I looked over and saw a familiar pair of green eyes staring back at me before I fell asleep. When I woke up in the middle of the night, I heard something rummaging through the trash downstairs. I yelled out, "Patches!" and expected him to stop. But he didn't. I got up and tried to flip the light switch on, Yet my bedroom stayed pitch black. I flipped the light switch a few more times, but nothing happened. It seemed like the power went out. I walked into the hallway and navigated my way in the darkness. As I went down the hallway, my foot had stumbled upon something furry. I looked down and saw Patches sleeping soundly at the top of the stairs. That's when I began to hear giggling. It wasn't full belly laughter, but almost like someone was trying to be quiet. I looked down into the darkness and could barely see a figure peeking their head out of the corner of the stairs. One unmistakable feature was their green eyes. I realized it wasn't Patches staring at me earlier. Those were human eyes.